The detention complex on Krovik Prime was never meant for humans. Gravity pressed down at nearly half again Earth's weight. The air reeked of sulfur, burning Sergeant Mara Vance's lungs with every breath. But none of that mattered. Not compared to what the Krovik intended to do with her. They marched Hurstel in humming quantum lock restraints into a circular arena carved from black stone. Tiered benches wrapped around the pit, filled with rows of Krovik cubs, tiny reptilian bodies, bright-eyed and hungry for spectacle. They were here to learn something, and Mara was the lesson. 3 weeks had passed since. Her recon craft fell out of the sky over Krovik territory. She'd survived on grit and training. But this standing, barehanded in an enemy training pit felt like the end of that road. A towering instructor with crimson-scaled arms addressed the cubs in their harsh, clicking language. Mara's translator caught fragments. Weakness, lesser species, breaking point. She understood enough. Then came the first strike. The electrified training whip cracked across her shoulders, lighting every nerve in her body on fire. Mara clenched her jaw until she tasted iron. She refused to scream. This was entertainment for the cubs. Education, another strike, then another. Her knees wobbled, but she forced herself upright. Her old drill instructor's voice echoed through memory. Pain's just the body sending mail. Vance. Ignore the mail. She stayed standing. The instructor circled, lecturing about human fragility. How easily humans skin tears. How quickly their bones break. Strike, strike. By the 10th hit, Mara's vision wavered, edges darkening, but she didn't fall. She locked her gaze on a distant point and breathed through the agony. The cubs murmured uneasily. This wasn't how the lesson was supposed to go. Humans were supposed to beg. Mara did not. And then everything changed. A small Kubno, taller than a human child, stood from its seat. Unlike the others, this one's scales shimmered silver, catching the arena lights like metal. Royalty Mara remembered the intel brief every Kravik generation. Birthed a single silver-scaled heir. The small cub stepped down into the arena with elegant confidence. Instructor Vorak, the cub said, voice high yet commanding. Stop. The instructor hesitated mid-swing. I said stop. The whip froze. The cub turned to the other young ones. You are teaching us the wrong lesson. Vorak chittered in disbelief. I am teaching about weakness. No. Silver Cub stepped closer to Mara, just out of reach of her chains. You are teaching us to underestimate them. The cub tilted its silver head. 10 strikes. Krovik candidate would fall at 5. Adults at 7. She has not made a sound. Silence drowned the arena. The cub faced the others. This is their danger. Not their machines. Not their weapons. It motioned toward Mara. This is why humans survived extinction on their homeworld. Why they live where we would die. They endure. Mara fought the urge to collapse. She met the cub's ancient-looking eyes with stubborn resolve. Then the cub approached even closer and spoke in flawless, accentless English. Sergeant Mara Vance. I know what you're thinking. Mara's blood chilled. You believe that even if you die here, you've proven humans don't break. That you've honored your crew. The cub's voice softened. But when we finish with you, every human connected to you goes next. Every sibling, every parent, every cousin, every friend. All of them. We do not forget insults and refusing to break. The cub scales darkened ominously. That is the greatest insult of all. Turnius. That was the cub's name, turned away, and for the first time since her capture. True fear stabbed Mara, not for herself, for Earth, for everyone she loved. But that fear ignited something. Deeper something every predator species eventually learned about humans, once humans feel fear.
Ice.
Determination follows. Turn, Mara croaked, voice raw but steady. The cub paused. Mara straightened, despite the agony tearing through her body. Count your family. The arena fell silent as stone. Turn back slowly. What did you say? Mara bared her teeth in a humorless smile. Count your family. She pushed against the gravity, against the chains, against the pain. Because I'm a recon Marine. And before you captured me, everything I learned, your defenses, your terrain, your royal lineage was already transmitted back to Earth. Turn's silver scales paled. Mara leaned forward as far as the restraints allowed. You wanted a lesson about humans? Here it is. We're not dangerous because we survive pain. We're dangerous because while you were trying to break one of us. Her smile sharpened. 1,000 more were already on their way. A breath, a promise. My fleet arrives in 72 hours. And they're going to want to know what happened to their sergeant. The arena didn't breathe. Then Turn did something that startled even the instructor. The cub laughed a clicking, hissing sound that sent shivers through the other youngsters. Perhaps, Turn said, we underestimated your species in more ways than one. Perhaps you did, Mara whispered, still upright. Still unbroken. The instructor stared, whip limp in his claws. Somehow, impossibly, the chained prisoner held the power now. Because the truth about humans was simple. They don't just endure. They don't just survive. They come back, and they never forget.